Then Moses became very angry and said to Yehovah, "Do not regard their offering. I have not taken a single donkey from them, nor have I done harm to any of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your company be present before Yehovah tomorrow, both you and they, along with Aaron." Okay? All of these people who have got a problem with Yeshua in whatever form it is, they will all be present before Yehovah one day. And they'll all say, "We're all holy." Not going to work like that, I don't think. "Each of you take his fire pan and put incense on it, and each of you bring his censer before Yehovah, 250 fire pans. Also you and Aaron shall each bring his fire pan." Okay? Moses knows what's going to happen. And he says, right, okay, go before Yehovah with your fire pans and offer incense before him. Okay? What happened to Nadab and Abihu when they did that? They brought the fire before him. Fire came out from Yehovah and devoured them. He knows as well, because he was given this instruction to give to the children of Israel, that Aaron, when he comes before him, he's got a very specific procedure to follow, or he's going to die. Okay? So he says, okay, if you think that you're holy, you don't need the Torah, then you try and come before Yehovah in that state, and we'll see whether or not you will be consumed in fire. So they each took his own censer and put fire on it and laid incense on it, and they stood at the doorway of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. I find this fascinating that they did this. Okay, Moses tells them to do something, and they go and do it. They obviously know that he is speaking and representing Yehovah, because otherwise they'd just laugh at him and walk away. Not going to be doing this crazy thing that he says to do. Oh, is that how we see what Yehovah thinks? Okay, we'll go and do that then. Okay, they obviously know that Moses is speaking on behalf of Yehovah. Thus Korah assembled all the congregation against him at the doorway of the tent of meeting, and the glory of Yehovah appeared to all the congregation. Then Yehovah spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them instantly." But they fell on their faces and said, "O God, God of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, will you be angry with the entire congregation?" Okay, now this is different to when they went into the land, when Achan sinned, and the Lord was angry with all of the congregation. Okay, the difference being here, Moses and Aaron make intercession on behalf of the people. Okay, so I think that there's probably a powerful lesson there, that Yehovah is going to act in the way that Yehovah is going to act. He's going to do what is just in his eyes. But we can make a difference if we intercede for people. Charlie spoke when he was on the radio show with Rob the other day. He spoke about being in rebellion and about, Yehovah helping him in that state. Okay, Yehovah will have mercy, but something that we can see in the Torah is that when people pray and they make intercession, then it makes a real difference. We shouldn't just think of people as in rebellion and as lost. Okay, that Yehovah's just got to do what's just. Intercession does make a difference. Then Yehovah spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the congregation, saying, get back from around the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Then Moses arose and went to Dathan and Abiram with the elders of Israel following him. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, "Depart now from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing that belongs to them, or you will be swept away in all their sin." And when I was reading this, I was thinking, what's that talking about? Don't touch their stuff, or you'll be swept away in their sin. Is this a principle that we should understand? If we touch the stuff of people who are in sin, that we're going to be swept away in their sin? But as I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, I thought, that's not what it means. He's saying, get away from their tents. Don't touch anything that's theirs. Don't be in that area, because I'm about to destroy it. Doesn't mean don't go and hold one of their mugs or something, because you're going to be caught up in their sin. Okay, Revelation 8:14 gives us what this is a picture of as well. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. talking about Babylon, saying, come out and be separate from Babylon, from this Babylonian system of worship, because they're going to suffer the plagues. I'm going to punish these people. You don't want to be anywhere near them. You want to be in a place that is doing worship properly, not in Babylon. Verse 27 says, so they got back from around the dwellings of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the doorway of their tents, along with their wives and their sons and their little ones. Something just to point out, at the beginning it says it was Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and On that came up to rebel against Moses. Seems from the rest of the way that things play out, On repented, and he's not punished. Okay? Moses said, by this you shall know that Yehovah has sent me to do all these deeds, for this is not my doing. If these men die the death of all men, or if they suffer the fate of all men, then Yehovah has not sent me. But if Yehovah brings about an entirely new thing, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them with all that is theirs, and they descend alive into Sheol, then you will understand that these men have spurned Yehovah. Again, this isn't something that Yehovah has told Moses to say. This is just Moses going, okay, if the ground opens up and everyone goes alive into Sheol, then you'll know that Yehovah has sent me. Okay, obviously he has a connection with Yehovah that's not him coming and speaking to him directly. As he finished speaking all of these words, the ground that was under them split open, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, and their households and all the men who belonged to Korah with their possessions. So they and all that belonged to them went down alive to Sheol, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. All Israel who were around them fled at their outcry, for they said, the earth may swallow us up. Okay, not these people have been in rebellion against Yehovah, and look at what happens. Okay, they're in fear for their own lives. They've got this self-interest going on. We don't want to be near them because the earth might swallow us up as well. So one group of people, the earth swallows them up. Next group of people, fire also came forth from Yehovah and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. Okay, so we've got the people who were coming with their carnal complaints, their carnal desires, the people who are against Moses. And where does the punishment come from? Okay, comes from the earth, earthly desires. The people who had heavenly aspirations, where does the punishment come from for them? Fire comes down from heaven and strikes them all dead. Now, it reminds me of this when I was going through the Torah portion of putting it together. This passage came up. I think this is very, very interesting. Okay, this is, you know, the trumpet judgments in Revelation. Okay, they follow the seventh seal being opened. And it says, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer with it the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. Okay, we've just seen when an offering is done in the wrong way, it brings down fire from heaven. Okay, this is an offering that's brought before Yehovah, the incense that's offered before him. And what's the result of this offering that the angel's making? And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. Okay, so offering made before Yehovah, fire cast down to the earth. Okay, what's the pattern that we've got? When an offering is made in an unacceptable way, then fire comes down. So look at that in a sec. And the second angel sounded, And as it were, a great mountain, burning with fire, was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. So the first three trumpet judgments which come in response to this offering being made before Yahuwah involve fire coming down upon the earth.
What do you see that as? Do you see that as a literal thing, or do you see it as like volcanoes?
I see it as a literal thing. I think that a great star falling from heaven is probably an angel.
Yeah, or an angel. For example, where it says, followed by hail, fire mingled with blood.
Yeah.
Do you see that as like lava, or do you see, what do you see that as?
I literally just see it as those things coming down from heaven. It's very, very reminiscent of one of the plagues of Egypt when the hail came down. Okay, it says that it was mixed with fire. So I see it in the same way. Now, this offering that was brought up before Yahuwah, that caused this reaction, caused fire to be cast down to earth, these are the constituents of the offering. Okay, golden censer filled with incense. Okay, they're probably fine, aren't they? The golden censer that was in heaven, the incense that was in heaven, I can't really see there being a problem with those being offered before Yahuwah. The next bit, though, may well be a problem. The prayers of all the saints. Okay, what are the prayers going up to Yahuwah at this point? In Revelation 7, we heard about the people who received the seal of God in their foreheads, and they're protected and they're taken out the way. We also hear about another group of people who go through this tribulation. Now they're offering up prayers to Yahuwah. Why would that be a problem? Okay, why would that be an abomination offered before Yahuwah? Proverbs 28 verse 9 says, "He that turneth his ear away from hearing the Torah, even his prayer shall be an abomination." So the prayers of these saints that are going up before Yahuwah at this point, ones who haven't got the seal of God in their foreheads, and they're crying out to Yahuwah, and Yahuwah says, "I will laugh at your calamity. You've turned your ear away from hearing the Torah." This is an abomination that's offered up before him. And what's the result? The trumpet judgments, which come as a warning to these people, to get them to wake up, say, well, no, this punishment has come from God. What did we do? We prayed to God for help. And what happened? All of these trumpet judgments, everything got a lot worse. And these trumpet judgments were applied not to the people that we thought it would be. You know, we thought we'd be raptured out of here. They're applied to us. Okay, these are coming against us. It might finally make people wake up and say, well, these are the trumpet judgments of God, and they're coming against his people. Revelation 13, 11 to 13 says something interesting as well. Okay, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." I haven't got time to explain all of this, but I'll just give you the short version. Okay, the first beast is the Babylonian system of worship. It goes from Babylon, Greece, Medo-Persia, Rome, Holy Rome. Okay, second beast is probably that is the false prophet. If he's a prophet, probably something to do with God, because he doesn't, you know, if somebody was coming saying something else, then they wouldn't be a false prophet in God's eyes. I think that the second beast will have something to do with Israel, will be a false Messiah that rises in Israel. Okay, this is what it says about the second beast. "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." Now, the way that I've always read this is the wonders that he's doing are to bring fire down. That's the wonder that he's doing. He's making fire come down from heaven. Perhaps not, though. Okay, he does great wonders, and that makes fire come down from heaven. Now, I wonder whether when the temple is established, okay, if the altar's always supernaturally lit, okay, if the offerings that are offered before Yehovah, if it's all to do with the Babylonian Talmud and all of this Babylonian system of worship, then that's an abomination that's offered before Yehovah. Is that what makes fire come down from heaven? Because Yehovah is the one in heaven, isn't he? Okay, this beast isn't up there calling to someone in heaven to start sending fire down. Yehovah is the one in heaven. He sends the fire down. That's the pattern that we always have. Okay, when an abomination is offered before the Lord, then the fire comes down. So I think it's quite possible that this is all the Babylonian nonsense that's being offered before Yehovah. That makes fire come down from heaven.